disrespectful out of nowhere and pulling out his cuffs saying, I'm going to lock you up, to leave, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, I want to press charges because these people assaulted me. And, the woman assaulted me and also the male assaulted me. And at this time, Lade's being disrespectful. I'm trying to talk to, the officer and everything. And I said, I want to get the patron's information because he's taking my information because I gave him my ID. So I said, get their information. I want to press charges against the woman and also the male that choked me. And he refused to get their information. So at that time, Lade was like, leave or we're going to trespass you or whatever. At this time, I'm standing in the street, on the sidewalk, in the street, whatever, so on and so forth. So when he asked me to leave, I just left. So then that's when I called dispatch and everything, and I was like, I want to follow up. I'm trying to continue the report, trying to explain my situation. So they wouldn't let me give them the full story. So that's the report number right there that Lade made. So I'm not sure what he has, but I wasn't unable to finish my story because the other officer was being aggressive.
And it's Officer Lade that wrote it?
Yes, it's on the card.
No, I know, but you said also Isaac came out, so I was wondering.
He was the guy that came out.
So here's how he closed it. He closed it out as a police information, which, in my experience with an incident like this, more than likely, he put in the report that he has the other person's information. He wouldn't have done a full report. Whether he told you he had the person, he can't give you the person's information on scene. If you'd like to come and collect his report after the fact, you're welcome to do that. But I can't go identify somebody and then give you their information. That's not our function as a police officer. That's the function of the state attorney to give you that information, and you're welcome. And as far as public,
5 business days you can get a report.
and as far as public information laws, you're allowed to pick up the report anytime you want. But legally, it's stupid as fuck because you can show up at the station 5 days later and get the same information. But I can't legally give you somebody else's name and date of birth.
Oh, I wasn't asking for anybody's name and date of birth. I was reporting the officers because
the guy didn't get locked up for choking him out.
No. But you said you were asking the officer for the guy.
No, I wanted to follow a report against the female and also the male.
Correct.
That's the situation. But I wasn't allowed to do that because they were busy filing a report against me and told me that I was trespassing. So they shooed me off the premises before I was able to point them out, this, that, and the other, and so on. So he told me that, they said that you touched her butt. I said, well, let's ask the establishment to show them a surveillance footage and we can go from there. So at the time that I'm asking, for clarification and talk to the bouncers because the bouncers saw the guy choking me when they showed up because they kicked him and the female and the entire party out of the establishment. I was the one to try to, get their information. I wanted to press charges. I didn't do anything. Check the surveillance footage, all that information. So,
what's your first name, sir?
Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting this all after the fact.
I understand.
From what I'm getting is this, because I used to work those details all the time. From what I'm getting is this. You were still inside the club. They all got kicked out, and the police were dealing with them first outside the club, and then the officer came in and got you and pulled you out of the club also?
These guys walked out in a hurry. Once the bouncers were involved and the police came in, they walked off in a hurry because once they asked me to come outside, I was trying to point them out like, yo, get them, get their information because, he asked me for my information. So at that point in time, he should have had everybody's ID and taken a full report, occurrence report of the situation, date, time, so on and so on, not just my information. I was the assaultant. Okay. So I'm not sure,
Right. The only thing is we're limited on what actually he documented because he documented this at 3 a.m. That's the time on here.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
I'm sure he's out of service now.
I'm totally understandable of that, but Officer Isaac told me to come down here. That's why I'm here. I'm just trying to
Are you
follow
trying
through.
to make a complaint, or are you?
I'm trying to make a complaint against the officers for not following through with the
Okay,
report.
but we don't know that they didn't follow through yet because we have
I'm
not
just
been able to access
trying
the
to
report.
do what I was told in terms of gathering.
What I would do, you can still not do what I'm telling you to do, but what I would recommend, wait 5 business days to get a copy of the report. It's not going to make a difference if you make a complaint today or you make a complaint then, but at least then you'll have all your facts. Because right now you're halfway getting the runaround because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, I can't speak to the officer Lee. I can't speak to the people who were involved in that down there because now the clubs are closed.
Totally
But
understandable.
I would wait, get a copy of the report after 5 business days.
If he hasn't documented the other people on the report, and you feel like you need to make a complaint, then it doesn't make a difference whether you make it right now with very little information or.
I actually assist with police officers, so I know exactly. You don't wait the next day and so on. I actually, on my job, I actually get in trouble for waiting and then doing it and then
No, you make a
following
report.
information. Yes, exactly what
He
happened.
definitely made a report. He didn't just do a small documentation like we were able to do on certain things. Other things we do a report on. He actually did make a report. What he wrote in the report, I don't know. If it is lacking information or your information is left out or any of that, you can supplement your report, giving your side of the story at a more reasonable time. It's not 4 o'clock in the morning. They're not going to say you're intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more substantial. But you can come in, you can get a copy of the report. If you're lacking information and you think Officer Lade did not document properly or whatever the case may be, then you can proceed with the complaint. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely. All I'm doing right now, ma'am, is just following through what dispatch told me to do. I explained to her that I called 2-3 different numbers, and they told me to call this number and this number, and then their last number said that to call this number for a deputy to be on the scene, but Officer Isaac showed up, and I asked him if he was a deputy, and he said no.
We don't.
But
Deputies don't respond.
I understand. I'm just explaining. I'm just going through the whole loop of
Officer
how
Isaac
it was,
works downtown?
how it all unfolded. So
But
then,
I guess is that you're not using originally you got a call. You made contact with Officer Lade. He works the bar details down there. Officer Isaac would have responded because you made phone calls. So if a phone call comes in via the radio,
Does Isaac work downtown?
yeah.
Or does he work detail?
No, he works downtown district.
He's here right now?
Apparently. Oh, I already got into that with him. I already said, I was like, an officer sent you down here to make a report, but it's because he already made a report.
So, what's Isaac supposed to do?
I'm just going through what I was told to do, and that's
But
it. Other than
Isaac-
that, I would have just went home.
Okay, but Isaac's not going to make a report if another officer on scene already made a report.
He
You're
explained
not
that to
speaking
me.
to a superior. You're speaking to another officer.
Yeah, he explained that to me, but he instructed me to come down here to the police station.
But did you say, I want to make a formal complaint on Officer
An officer,
Lade?
yes,
Okay.
ma'am. I did. He said, go down to this.
For discourtesy or for lack of...
We didn't. He didn't get into those details like you are right now.
I'm saying
But he told me to speak to a superior that his name starts with an M. The superior, his name starts with an M.
Oh, Sergeant Malushi.
Yes, exactly. Belushi.
Okay. You didn't tell me that after this 15 minutes of all this.
Man, I'm just trying to explain the situation. You ask me questions. I'm
You
trying
didn't
to.
say you wanted to talk to the sergeant.
I'm trying to squeeze the story out. You're telling me that the place is closed and so on and so
we're
forth.
closed right now. I mean, officers are still here doing calls,
Okay.
but for you to go into the police station to do whatever I thought you wanted to do, whatever you might have wanted to do,
I'm just trying to squeeze the story out.
Okay.
He's 50.
But what I'm trying to confirm, you're trying to make a complaint on?
An officer.
Okay. You're not. It's not that you're trying to make another report because.
No, I'm not, because
supposedly he made a report.
Lade has his report, but I'm trying to make a report on Lade. I don't even know why Lade is making the report, because it wasn't his report. I was speaking to Gowans.
Gowans. Gotta go with the names here.
The entire time. I was speaking to Gowans like this, and Lade was standing right there, and he just kept interrupting our conversation as to like what was going on. Lade came out of nowhere, like being totally disrespectful and crazy. That's why I'm here. Like, I wasn't able to squeeze my story out. He breaks out his cuffs and is like, we're going to trespass you. Get out of here. I'm like, I'm standing on the public sidewalk.